Well, it's pretty late here. um, how should we start? Did somebody do the volunteering training for you,
I
of
am.
you guys?
I did, yeah.
Okay, cool.
So I am
Cool.
recording times two. I've got two versions going here, so hopefully that's covered. And I guess we just kick it off with. I imagine we'll come to consensus pretty quick. Maybe there's only four of us. We can chat lots, but so intention to actually run. So I do plan to run. Who else? Marty, you being go in order.
Now, no, I was not planning to run actually.
Okay, Vince.
The same thing also for me.
None of you guys are planning to represent for this one. Ah, I win. Unless you could not vote for me still. Okay, well, do you want me to just tell you why I'm planning to run for this particular one, and then you can decide if that's appropriate? So I'm Chris Barnes. I use my name pretty much, like, I'm pretty open on that. So on Twitter, Vince, I recognize your handle there. So yeah, we know each other on Twitter, I suppose. And then same with Telegram, same name. And so for this one, I put up a post recently on the forum yesterday, in fact, looking for. I'm not a builder. I work in renewable power generation stuff, and I'm more of a hands-on guy, and I don't know how to code per se. So I want to build. I've been Genesis token holder involved in crypto since 2014, but not a builder, but want to build, if that makes sense. So anyway, so of the list of things that came up on that forum, I did reach out to the Boyd guy, John, on so he's the one who did the EOS IO power up that I think I've used, and it looks like a lot of people in Venezuela are using, which is awesome. So I reached out to him and have agreement that I can represent him for this to go to the final round if possible. And the goal with 1,000 EOS would be to give 10% of that, so roughly 100 EOS, directly deposit to the free fund for people to use. And then the remaining 90% or 900 EOS would go towards John's time to. I would like to help work with him to focus on just the Telegram Discord bot. That would make it easy to trigger a power up from inside a chat room from any account. I think a lot of us see sometimes in Telegram, people will pop in who will say, hey, I transaction stock, what do I do? And so instead of sending them to a website that they need to figure out, which is pretty simple, but regardless, we can just, as helpful community members, just right then and there, power up their account via the Telegram. So that's sort of, and also it's only 1,000 EOS, so it's not like this isn't the big prize, right? So in terms of my thought process is just a small bite-sized project that it would market well. Like we could, it would be an easy win to not only get it built within a short period of time, so we could sort of use that as a, hey, look, it's already worked. We've come to consensus on one sort of idea, and then sort of get it out there and help to show that this could work on bigger projects as well. Part of the concern in my mind is transparency. So how, once the 1,000 EOS gets sent to my EOS account's also Chris Barnes 1, so it's all very easy to, I'm not a fraud. But I think the plan there is just to either have it and maybe tweet about it and post the transaction hash of sending the 100 EOS to the EOS Power Up account and then sending the 900 EOS to John. Another option, I'm not entirely positive the best way, or maybe since I was the one, if I get elected, I would be the one to hold the funds, and I could sort of give John some of it and then wait till it's done and give him the rest, and something like that at least can look like there's some sort of accountability, which I think we need to try to find a way to present as best we can, since this is something that some people think can be gamed and then the funds are going to disappear. So the accountability piece is hard to prove. It's on chain, but regardless, I don't want to just give all the funds away and then hope the product happens. And then my piece about this is I will just donate my time to tweet about it. I'm not a marketer, but I'm going to try to learn to do that better and try to learn to tweet better. I've had some lessons from Stefan at EOS Nation already about the wall of text, and I need to use more emojis. So I'm 42, so it's not really my it's not my genre of communication. I like full sentences and proper punctuation, but I'm learning. So that's it in a nutshell. That's the pitch. Any questions?
It is a good idea to start with, honestly. It's a good direction.
Curious. Good, Marty.
Vince, let's go.
Well, thank you. I was curious what John's reaction to your proposal was, Chris.
I reached out to him on Telegram, and he just was like, "Yeah, sure, okay, no problem."
I'm curious about like feasibility. You know, with 1,000 EOS, you're looking at about $10,000 right now, or really 90%, right? So 90%, 9K USD anyway. And did he say that he could build that with 9K USD?
He didn't explicitly say that, no. But my assumption is it depends on his rate and how he does his time. So he built that entire EOS power up thing in 3 weeks. So if he was able to build that in 3 weeks, I'm assuming he could probably build this. Maybe assumption's a bad way to go, but I assume he could probably build this functionality in less than 3 weeks. He sounds like he's a pretty well-skilled developer, full developer. So timing may be harder, like if he's busy with other stuff. So that's a piece. But in terms of the funding and the fact he's already built something basically for free, I would hope that would be enough incentive to at least get some sort of basic Telegram Discord bot built. It's a good question though, Vincent. I honestly didn't really go through. It was more of a, hey, do you mind if I do this for you? Represent you in this, see how it goes. And he's like, yeah, okay, sounds good. I answered a few questions about his background and his team just so I knew a little bit about him. But yeah, I hope it's enough to make it happen. If not, I may even just step up and fund the rest. Not that I'm overly rich or anything, but I think it's important to at least, for me, it's the Eden thing is more about the overall, what does this do to elections and how we pick our leaders. It's almost not even as much about EOS kind of in a way, in the bigger picture of how I want to be involved. I think it's a good mission just to do that. So yeah, hopefully it works out though with this particular instance.
My question, I have 2 questions. One would be, will the code be open sourced afterwards? Everything that he built?
I would assume yes. Yeah, the goal, I assume so. That would be what we want to make this open source.
Is this an assumption, or can you basically insist on that?
It's an assumption, but I would insist on it. This whole thing is about the community, so there'd be little, the community should have access to all of these things that we build. Yeah. And it would really only be useful for EOS.io platforms that use the power up model. So, I mean, open source, use it if you want. I don't see it be that beneficial to some other, like it's not like it's going to be some revenue generating thing that needs to be proprietary.
Yeah, but people could iterate it on it, and if John can't fully perform, people can take this and bring it further. Another thing is John also running? I didn't follow it. Does John himself also run?
He's here. He's here. He could be. Yeah, probably. I would assume as much.
I didn't know if he was like requesting recording. So
I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know if he is. Again, we only talked yesterday, first time, right? Like this is a very came together last minute. I was just looking for something to try to. It's only 1,000 EOS. I mean, so these are great questions, and because I haven't really spent hours, which I wanted to have a call with him yesterday to really go through a lot, but he didn't have time, so it was pretty high level. All right, we'll see how it goes, and but these are all great questions, and I would hope this would be open source. I can't see wanting to take community funds like this and then build something proprietary that you can monetize indefinitely later, right? It should be something that's kind of for the community and paid for. So that's the other thing. It's not just free. So if he gets money to build it, then yes, it should be open source.
Well, the awesome thing I think about this process, Marty, is that you could just make that your ask as a voter, right? You can just say, hey, Chris, I'm going to give you my vote, but please, this is really important to me. I want you to try to move it forward with this in mind, and then, this being kind of the room that it is with, us trying to reach consensus. Chris, your reputation's on the line, right? At least for our group and for Marty, try to make it open source. We're going to give you our vote, but please advocate for that kind of thing.
Exactly. That would have been my next question. How can you insist, and how do we kind of have your accountability on this? That's a little bit what I'm missing.
Yeah,
it is reputation.
it's all
True.
about reputation, and that's kind of Dan's model here, is that the group is small enough and we should start to know each other. The community should be small enough that we all have a reputation, and that it really comes down to your word is your bond,
100%. And it's not just us four. Like, this recording is being recorded so everyone can watch it. So really, it's it's not just I'm going to promise you three that I'll make it open source. It's kind of, if I say yes, I will try to do that here, then it's kind of for everybody, because we're all going to be able to see it.
And you would promise to advocate, right? We can't guarantee anything. As Chris moves up the chain of this process here, he's going to try his best to advocate and try to get voted himself, right? Because there's going to be like an Yves LaRose out there, there's going to be a Zach out there that Chris is going to have to pitch this idea to, and so we'll see how far it goes. This is really interesting. It's super fun, actually.
Yeah, well, and imagine once it's the big money, like
right.
Yeah. I want to act here as if it's the big money. So the whole thing about it's just the 1,000 EOS doesn't count for me. I'll test you as if it's like the full bag, everything, because this is what this system needs to really provide for us, right? Because we have people who will say, it's not safe enough. So how would this look like when we would say, okay, we need to assume that we will give you our vote that you might go all the way, So what I would ask you right now is that you give us on camera right now, kind of like that you would insist. And what would be your plan B? Let's say John says, no, I don't want to open source it. What would be your plan B?
Plan B, I suppose, could be to try to find someone else to build it.
A bounty, you would put it up like a bounty.
Keep the funds as the trusted person who making the claims of what I'm going to try to do. And if John, because I haven't, which is my own fault, it's really a detractor. I should have, in a perfect world, have this far more laid out. Something I could present even, right? I did a tweet yesterday evening that shows who's using the free power up as a indication that it's a worthwhile service. But in terms of the details, this is a good learning experience for me too. But so to answer your question, if John says no, I won't do it unless I get to keep the code, then I would keep the funds and say, okay, I will try to put up a bounty and get someone who can do it and implement this. I'll still take the 100, give it to the fund. That's the free power up that everyone can use, the 100 EOS, and then the 900 remaining, put a bounty up, get support from someone in the community who can help me put a bounty up. I'm not even positive how that works exactly, but get support there, and then use my time for free to try to make that happen, to then get the product built.
Right.
That's my promise to you.
Chris, I have one addition. You will be representing us down in the second round and third round, and one of the key things that I see that it is good to support. So far, Eden process is only covering high level of hierarchies, right? It is just covering who's going to be winning. Mm-hmm. But in the same time, if there is a kind of development on the down level of the hierarchies, if it is need to be focused, a tool to represent how the people accomplish, or anything that it is a project that it is more supporting a solution for Eden more than EOS, I highly recommend to go forward with that. If you end up with 5 or 6 projects, because the more this idea mature, it is much more better than only the EOS development, right? Because EOS is going in the right direction and it is actually improving, in my point of view. This is where we are lacking.
Good point. So basically, if it looks like I'm not able to get the votes required in the next round, your preference from our group is that I focus and vote for one of the projects that is more Eden specific as opposed to EOS, if there's a bit of a distinguishing between the two of them.
Yes, if it is improved the process and stuff like that.
I'm okay with that. What do you guys think, Vince and Marty?
Thank you. I'm sorry. How do I say your name?
Anas.
Anas. Thank you, Anas.
Anas.
Yeah, thank you, Anas. Can you help me again? Can you clarify sort of your ask? And I really like this idea. I really like the idea of asking the person you vote for to support something if they don't get voted for in the future, right? Yeah, I really like. Can you help me again? Can you explain that again? What your ask is?
Right. So my ask is like his solution is benefiting EOS at the end of the day, right?
Yes,
For anyone
yes.
want to experience how is interacting with it. But
Tipbot,
as I say, that EOS is actually, it is improving. There is a block one, there is a block producer, there's everyone that it is working and improving, right? But for Eden, it is a little bit small group, right? So far, we have the process is just covering the who's gonna win, but how we can evaluate the winner, like where he can submit and document, like this is my proposal A, proposal B, proposal C. I will go forward with that, with that, with that. Like for example, for him in the second round, let's say there is a 3 or 5 idea. Let's assume I will support that I will be winning. I will say I will dedicate 30% of the fund for that project idea, and I will dedicate 30% for that project idea. So the people in the second round, they will see that it is because no one is keen on just only to be the winner. It is the end game. It is the successful of the whole idea, right? So if his decision is supporting both ideas or 3 or 4 idea that it is lean in direction or lean into ideas that it is going forward with it, it is more beneficial.
Okay. Let me kind of say that back to you, and let me know if I understand this correctly. Your ask to Chris is that in the next round, if everyone doesn't vote for his idea, then he pivots to saying, okay, well, if you vote for me, then I'm going to allocate money to all the ideas, or a fair number of them. So, like, let's say Chris goes to round 2, and everyone cannot reach consensus, right? Then you're asked to Chris to say, like, okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to allocate 25% to my idea. I'm going to allocate 25% of Zach's idea, 25% to Eve LaRose's idea, and that's how I'm going to move forward to the next round. You know, I'm going to be the person that allocates to more ideas than just mine. Is that what you're suggesting, Anas? Oh no, we lost Anas.
No.
Yeah.
It sucks. I don't think that's what he meant, though.
Okay.
Even though he's not here to say it. I think
it's also a great idea.
Oh, there he is. Good. Okay. Yeah. Let's clarify, because
you're back. Good. You're on mute, Anas.
Hey.
I think I left and they joined back. Can you repeat? I didn't catch anything from what you said. Sorry.
So I guess my understanding.
Go ahead. Want me to do it, Vince? Because I think I get what you're saying.
Go ahead.
But I don't think that's what Anas is saying. See, the risk with what you're saying, Vince, in this particular election is it's only 1,000 EOS. So if we start saying, okay, I'm not going to win, but I'm going to take a piece of all these other ideas that are good, and I'll just subdivide my allocation, then nobody wins because it's too little of amount to make anything happen. That's my concern with this one. The future election is a different story, but for this particular one, I don't know if that would be useful to split it. My interpretation of what Anas said is that if I'm not going to win, then I should pick who could win, pick one that will be more focused on Eden OS development and enrichment as opposed to just EOS. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's perfectly good. I think that makes wicked sense. I'm totally
second that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm for that as well.
Consensus building at its best.
Yeah.
But do you commit to this on camera, please?
Yeah.
That you would do that?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that makes perfect sense. This is a focus on Eden for now. It's small enough money. I don't think we should try to split to then nothing gets achieved. That's my concern is when I get to the next round, there's going to be some really lofty ideas that are probably going to be awesome, but 1,000 EOS isn't going to make those happen. So are we voting now to make something happen now, or are we voting now to make something happen a year from now or 6 months from now? To me, that's too long. I think that we want a quick, easy win for Eden right now. And why I've gravitated to this particular option is because it's a quick, easy win. It's for all of the EOS community. And it won't just linger on past the next election. And then because we want to build a bit of hype, right? We want to be like, look, we did it. It worked, and here's what came out of it. If I can get John to build this in like within a month, that would be hopefully brilliant.
Right.
I didn't confirm, but that would be something I'd try to at least make happen.
I'm supportive of quick wins all the time. Like really, we need to move fast.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry, Mari.
Efficiently invest. I really like this, that you have in mind that the money needs to lead to a result. Imminent. I really like that approach. One thing, if somebody has a better idea than you, would you vote for them? Or, like, are you selfless in this regard? When somebody comes up with a better idea, would you give up your kind of like
100%
running?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm here for the community and for the growth of the overall thing, and to see Eden a success. It's not about ego and my personal aggrandizement or anything like that. So yeah, absolutely. If there's a better idea, and besides, it's based on consensus. The last thing I'd want to do is get stuck in a group and everyone's like, no, I'm going to win. And then to me, that's the worst case scenario of any of these, where no winner comes out because everyone's unwilling to not vote for themselves.
Yeah, but you won't know how people decide, and knowing while you discuss, while you're still finding this consensus, it sometimes helps to say, okay, right now I say like this is a better idea, and I publicly say them I'm going to vote for it. So please don't vote for me, vote for these people. That's something how you can build consensus by giving up your kind of like running.
100%. Yeah, more than willing to do that, especially in light if there's a better idea and it's focused towards Eden and not EOS, because now from this discussion, I will factor that heavily into my decision, since that's the consensus that we've come to. So I'll abide by that preference. But again, the last thing I want is a stalemate. So maybe I'll have to even give in on that preference if it means we would lead to a stalemate, because that's, I think, the worst case scenario.
Right.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting.
Just one thing to iterate.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead and ask.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to say separately.
So what?
Oh, you go.
And Asco.
Yeah.
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Yours is probably about this.
Right.
Then
So now we are 64, and like down the line it will be like 1,000 or higher, right? But for each level that it will be voting, that this is the decision, this is the direction that I will go with the vote. But assumably with the large amount, like people, they need to know what did you make as a decision on the second round, right? Like a kind of a summary of what happened in the second round. Yes, we have these 4 ideas, and this is how we come back. Like a kind of like it is easy to vote all the way up, but at the same time reporting back with why you went with that direction. Like, yes, for example, you will go for the second round, you face 3 or 5 projects that this is the idea. I thought this project is more keen to our direction, and I voted for that.
Okay.
It is really effective with large numbers. Like this is a kind of area where I think Eden can improve also. Like if you find something that regard,
yeah, it's an interesting point. I think I understand what you're saying. So it's like justifying later on what decisions were made and why after this round, right?
Yeah.
So there will be the video. So certainly anybody who really wants could watch the whole video. But what I can do as another commitment to this is I will, similar to the notes I take for the Eden calls, or I have taken in the past, I can summarize kind of what happens in the next call. And I can just share it with you 3. I could share it with everybody. I could put it up in Telegram, like a summary. And because there will be a video, but to save at least you 3 the trouble of having to watch the whole video if you don't want to, I could summarize if you'd like that.
I think your notes in the forum are fine. I think it should, as much as possible, be open notes for mass consumption, public consumption. It certainly doesn't hurt, but you're right. I mean, the video is going to be there ultimately. I think you can always just point people there. It's from my perspective, I would, I don't need you to write notes for the next.
It's froze for me.
We can always watch the video, but if you did, then you can put them in the forum.
Okay, I got that. You liked a bit, but it caught up. Okay, yeah. I mean, like I say, I won't take notes during because it'll be too distracting. But I could always come back later and summarize it. But I think for the big, like once it's the bigger money, I expect there's going to be a few people who are rewatching, taking their own takeaways. There might be some juicy quotes that might get, spread around depending on how intense it gets. Because you can imagine that for the big one, it's going to be $4 million or something for the top prize. Like that will be a very interesting 50-minute conversation between 10 people who all are vying for $4 million. It's not chump change.
Just quick to add, because I see in the Telegram people are starting to write down their vote. Should we do it now, right?
Yeah.
I think,
assuming on the practice.
I'm not sure if there was a misunderstanding if it's 15 or 50 minutes conversation.
5-0.
And we started
5-0?
10 minutes late, so technically this should end at around 11 because we started at 10 after.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I think people start voting now already. But basically, we're getting pulled out. We're getting pulled out of the room automatically, right?
Yeah.
What Dominic's going to do, right?
Should.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to say the whole time. I think if we reach consensus, we can vote now. And do you know if
we can continue talking?
Yeah, we can. But do you know if we have to come back into the Zoom if we are not elected?
Don't think you have to. Let me confirm on the rules here. Participants will be called back to the main meeting room at the conclusion of the allotted time. Everyone votes Telegram, we know that. Elected representatives upload their video. So that's me. Main room, they calculate it. Second round. Same format as the first. Participants called back to the main meeting room at the end. Yeah, there's no indication that if you aren't participating in the next round that you must stick around. So no, you guys can leave if you want. I think you can stick around and probably listen to part of it. I don't know how that works. In fact, the second Zoom breakouts, I don't think you're allowed to observe until after the fact, which is
that'd be really cool. I would love to observe.
The thing that's going to happen right now is you won't be able to download the video or upload it if Dominic is not stopping the Zoom call whatsoever. So I don't think we're going to. I mean, we would go back, but you don't have access to the video if Dominic doesn't stop the meeting whatsoever. So he needs to end the whole call and then re-invites everybody that got selected.
And we join back in.
That's
Okay.
what happened.
That sounds right. Yeah, I'm recording it twice, so Simon put up a thing in Telegram there for this OBS, which is working. It seems like it's recording right now.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. You won't have problems with Pinata, right?
I don't know. We'll see. I have my account. It just has to be smaller than a gigabyte, but I think between Zoom and the other one, hopefully between the two files, one of them is small enough to be able to.
That would be my. If we cut this short, then the file size will be smaller, and you won't run into this problem.
Right. We won't be the only ones if that's the case.
Yeah.
Well, I'm ready to vote, gentlemen.
Yeah. It's just one candidate.
Yeah.
I could have been a total douche, and then no, even though it was one, you still don't get it, right?
No, yeah, but it would be so interesting to see how it would be if we had two people being nice to us,
Yeah.
asking for the vote, because I try to ask hard question because then you have this debating going on, because obviously you both have great ideas, And then it's really just how much integrity and how much skills and how much vision do you have for your idea?
Yeah.
And seeing two people compete for that would be more interesting. We probably would have talked longer.
Probably. And what I think would be extra cool is you watch, say, this version of the election, and I'll have a bunch of answers. And then the next one, do I repeat the same answers or do they change slightly because of who's there, right?
Yeah.
So I'm realizing this now as I'm saying everything I say is recorded for posterity for anyone to watch. So I better watch what I say. Nothing political, right?
Yeah.
Take it easy.
Yeah.
What I really like about this process is that that you can get the perspective of people and the suggestions of people already. So it's basically not just a vote that we're having here, or building consensus. It's also a consultation, if you will. For example, you can talk to your clients, or it's interesting that you get ideas from us that help you evolve your idea. That's what I like about this. It's not just consensus. It's like hive intelligence, if you will.
You know what I think?
Go ahead, Anas.
I wish if there is applying the same eating process, but for a simple yes or no, not for election, but let's say, for example, are we going to go forward with this idea as the whole, as a community outside of the election? Like you just sign in yes, we split to 10. Okay, this group says yes, this group says no. Like we can take a decision as a community within maybe 1 minute. Like if it is just on chain, like it's just a yes or no, going forward with that or no. Like I wish if I can see it. Yeah.
I think it's interesting, but I think part of this is the people, right? That's just a binary choice on like a referendum, where I think the whole point of this is you're coming to consensus around an individual that you think you can trust.
Yeah.
Where if it was a referendum, you could just have everyone vote, and then it's just democracy. Otherwise, if not, and you do it in these groups of 10, then it's just a byproduct of chance and how the randomization went in your groups of 10, right?
Yes, you're right.
But I have a question. So you raised a really good point, Marty, that I should be leveraging what you guys do and know. Do either any of you develop, like, are there things that I should be looking for and asking with like John and my idea here to get this built? Is there like, how long do you guys think? I don't know. Looks like Vince, you said no, you're not a coder. And
no, I'm
Marty,
not.
You guys don't code?
No.
Oh no. All right. So I was gonna like, how long should this take? Is a month reasonable? Like I didn't get into the nitty with John, right? So.
Yeah, I think up the ranks you will find more people that, that know how much it takes. I think a month
will challenge you.
Once administrative thing, we all know that this room is room number 11. Is it room number 11?
Room number 11.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So just because we have no way to see that would be also, as a volunteer or as a moderator, it would be like important to point that out, I guess.
Yeah, good point.
Because when these discussions get more heated and everybody is nervous, you kind of start missing these little administrative parts. It's just like something that I think should be in the process.
Yeah, very good point. Yeah, last thing you want is someone to vote for the wrong room number and
guys,
leave, and that's it.
Guys, Dominic is asking for the result to vote in the Telegram, so we should go ahead.
Maybe he's going with the original schedule, which is probably the case. Yeah. Okay, good. I'll open it up.
Yeah. I vote. I don't have a sticker.
Was there a 1 on my Telegram name? I guess there is.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Changes.
All right.
All right, there you go, Chris. Congratulations.
Thanks, fellas.
Enjoy the next round.
The vote of confidence. I'll hope to do you proud. Yeah, this is great. Anas and Marty, are you guys on like Twitter or do you play that game? I'm fairly new to it, to be quite honest, but I know Vince is, and I follow him on there. But if you guys do, I'll follow you too.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter. My name is hard.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I will just find you now.
Mine's
is it Chris?
Name. Yeah, it's at Barnesor with 3 O's. It's a nickname from when I was younger.
I have an anonymous accountant too, so. But
okay, well, anyway,
I can share it. It is not under my name as Anas. Like I just kept a Twitter account only mainly for crypto, so I don't want to mix up my feed.
Yeah.
Because if you just have a bunch of them, that's very focused only in crypto.
Crypto Twitter's busy enough.
Yeah.
I can't find you. It's at BA.
At BARNZ, 3 O's and an R.
Ah, got you. Cool.
Oh, and you're with EOS Nation, Marty.
Yes,
ER?
yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And I was really happy that like Steph
What's that,
is
Chris? BRZ?
BARNZ, 3 O's and an R. Barnzor. I once dressed up like a barbarian guy for Halloween once, and then that was my Barnzor. I yelled that. I was very drunk. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Marty? When
Oh,
Steph helped me?
It was funny to hear that Steph is giving you training about like his tweets. You know,
Yeah.
We discussed a lot. Like in fact, this tweet was great or this looks good. I do the same thing on WeChat
Okay.
because I'm based in China. So I do like the whole thing what he does on Twitter. I do on Weibo and on WeChat. So we discuss a little bit like what looks cool and what kind of wall of text and what kind of emojis is fun. So
Awesome.
it's nice.
So you're multilingual then?
我会说中文. Oh.
That probably means yes.
No, I meant I can speak Chinese. Like with the lockdown that happened, like I kind of got super like okay, only working and being home office, so I'm not really socializing that much outdoors anymore, and that's really like speaking a lot because in chats it's really easy to kind of like auto translate. In WeChat you have an auto translate button on everything, so
you lose it a bit.
yeah, but it's still easy.
Yeah,
I've been taking Eve around like trips all over China a lot, so that's always fun. I'm missing that time.
Yeah.
Where are you based?
Pardon me?
Where are you based?
I'm northwest of Toronto, Canada. So I met Eves and shoot, what's the other guy's name who does your EOS hot sauce?
Daniel?
Daniel Keys, yeah. I met those guys. They did so I don't know if you were EOS Nation at the time, but in 2018, Cox, with Thomas Cox came, and you guys, there was in downtown Toronto, there was like a meetup where Thomas Cox was there, organized by Eves and Daniel. So like you guys have been doing this since the beginning, so you deserve to be where you are. Like obviously you've done well.
Thank you.
And so location, how about what about you, Vince and Ass? Are you guys in North America or?
Yeah, I'm in California.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm not.
You're not.
Where are you?
No, I'm from Saudi Arabia, born and raised, so far away from that.
So it's much later in the day for you.
It is almost 6 p.m. now.
And then Marty, is it midnight for you then?
No, it's close to 11. Okay. So 9 minutes to 11. Still a good time for me.
Vince is super tired, and
I had to wake up very early.
That's awesome.
So, Anas, you with EOS Arabia then?
Yes, yeah.
Nice. Awesome.
What's your role, Anas? What's your role at EOS Arabia?
I know the team in the EOS Arabia, and back in 2018, I was part of the team. But to be honest, like I would rather that be from the larger EOS community more than in a certain area. To be honest, I didn't like at the beginning where most of the block producers are announcing it under the name. I really like the Cypherglass when they announced like non-relevant to EOS, like the naming convention. But I know the guys that run EOS Arabia, and I joined them for some. But I really got busy at the work, so I disconnected a little bit. But I'm not involved in coding or anything like that. Yeah.
I see in the chat that people are kind of ending their calls. I don't know if you need to be available to be invited for the next one, Kurs.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we better leave, I suppose, eh?
No, I don't know how the communication is supposed to go. I just want to mention that. So There's no clear idea from Dominic, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe just play it safe and leave.
All right, gentlemen.
Figuring out the
Okay.
Was a pleasure.
Now.
All right. Bye,
Awesome.
guys.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Good chatting.
Take care.
Thanks for your vote.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Stop recording.
Recording stopped.